Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. There's been some talk online about a potential matchup between Nate Diaz and Vicente Luque. A lot of people are asking, will this fight happen? And I'm going to get to that in a minute. I'm going to answer that question for you. But first off, Nate Diaz is just a funny guy. I mean, he retweeted a video of Vicente Luque calling him out and just put a little punch emoji. So who knows what that actually means? But Vicente Luque has been calling out Nate Diaz for what seems like forever. After every fight, he's been saying, I want to fight Nate Diaz. He just most recently beat Michael Chiesa. I think it was at UFC 265. And he called out Nate Diaz after that fight as well. And people kind of shook it off that it would never happen. But now they have some hope with Nate Diaz retweeting that call out, putting the punch emoji. I mean, Nate Diaz said, first off, he fought Leon Edwards at UFC 263 back in June and he lost that fight. But he said after that fight that he wanted to stay active and fight again this year. Whether or not that happens, Nate Diaz hasn't been active for years, really. I think he fought November of 2019, then not again until 2021, summer of 2021. So he's been, inactive a lot of the time, one-off fights, coming back. He fought Anthony Pettis before he fought Jorge Masvidal. But let me talk about this matchup because Vicente Luque, I believe, would absolutely murder Nate Diaz. And I know we said that about Leon Edwards as well. Leon Edwards is a top elite welterweight. Vicente Luque is an elite welterweight as well. He's on a nice win streak as well. He beat Michael Chiesa in his last fight via Darce choke. Before that, he beat Tyron Woodley by Darce choke as well. And he's on a nice streak. Why would he want to fight Nate Diaz? Vicente Luque has no name value right now. I love Vicente Luque. He's a great fighter. He goes out there every single time and tries to put on a performance for the fan. He's always exciting, and nobody really cares about him yet. He's not really known by a lot of casual fans. The hardcores know him, but if he gets a win over Nate Diaz, who draws in all these casual fans, that will escalate him right up the ladder to be next in line for a welterweight title shot. As crazy as that sounds, and I'll say it like I said before the Leon Edwards fight. If you don't think Vicente Luque has earned a title shot now, don't say it after he beats Nate Diaz. If he fights Nate Diaz, obviously. But Nate Diaz obviously has that cult-like following. He got beat down for 4.5 rounds by Leon Edwards, and he rocks Leon Edwards at the end of the fight. And that's all people talked about after that fight. And Nate, I love Nate like everyone does. I'm a huge Nate Diaz fan. But come on now, he got beat down. There's nobody else on the roster that can absorb this type of damage, lose this many fights, and people are still, hyping him up and talking about him fighting legitimate contenders. And I don't think he fares very well against Vicente Luque. I mean, Leon Edwards is an elite welterweight. Vicente Luque is an elite welterweight as well. But Vicente Luque is much more of a killer than Leon Edwards. Not to say Leon Edwards would lose to Vicente Luque, but it's just different styles. Vicente Luque comes out there, he'll batter your legs, he'll kick your body, he'll punch you in the face. I mean, this guy is active, he's aggressive, he has a legitimate ground game. His jiu-jitsu, he's submitting Michael Chiesa and Tyron Woodley in his last few fights. That was great wins by him. And he's just overall a well-rounded fighter. Plus, he has a size advantage over Nate Diaz. I think, obviously he's younger. He hasn't taken nowhere near as much damage as Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz has all that scar tissues. I think Vicente Luque would go out there, kick Nate Diaz's lead leg off, just so hard. The leg kicks would be so brutal. I think he would piece up his body, and I think he would just cut him open, bust him open, and maybe even finish him. I'm not sure. The only way I think Nate Diaz would stand a chance is maybe if he got it at a 5-round fight. I mean, Vicente Luque tends to slow down, but who knows? He may have addressed those issues by now. And his last few fights have been relatively short, both first-round finishes. He slowed down in the Stephen Wonderboy Thompson fight, but even that fight, he won the first round, in my opinion, or was very competitive in that first round. And Wonderboy Thompson is a great striker, And so I don't even know. Nate Diaz has great jiu-jitsu. He has great striking, great boxing, but he eats a lot of shots. And shots from a guy like Vicente Luque is probably going to put you down. And, I could see even Vicente Luque really hurting Nate, and I don't see Nate submitting him on the ground. Vicente Luque has a great ground game, so I just don't see Nate being able to submit him. I just think, Vicente Luque is too technical. I think he would kick Nate's legs off. I think he would beat up Nate's body. I think he would cut him open. And I just think it would be an overall brutal beating. So as far as whether or not Do I think this fight can happen? And the answer to that question is yes. And I think there's actually a pretty good chance that it will happen because Nate Diaz has shown time and time again he wants to fight these legit contenders. He wants hard fights of people who hardcores know. And it's almost like he's talked about for a while, he didn't get enough recognition. It's almost like he's picking out guys he likes who are savages and giving them the spotlight in a way. Because Leon Edwards is an absolute savage. Leon Edwards is a great elite fighter. Obviously he's not out there, knocking people dead in the first round like Francis Ngannou or anything like that, but he's a great fighter, and he didn't get enough recognition, and Nate Diaz went out there and gave him the fight. Obviously, it didn't turn out the way Leon Edwards probably wanted it to, because he got rocked in the last round, and everyone forgot about the 4.5 minutes before that, or 4.5 rounds before that. But Nate Diaz will take these tough fights. I don't think he doesn't want to fight anyone back in the rankings. He wants to fight someone who, if he beats, it's a big win. And if he beats Vicente Luque, you're talking about potential a title eliminator fight next, and I don't believe that should happen. But the UFC with Nate Diaz's star power, if he can get an impressive win over Vicente Luque, they will put him right into a title eliminator match. And I gotta respect Nate Diaz for wanting these tough fights. And even if he does want it, obviously you put that fight emoji, that fist emoji. But I really think this is a fight he could angle for. And stylistically, from his perspective, looking at it, it could be a fun matchup for him. It's a guy that's going to engage with him. It's a guy that's going to majority keep it on the feet, most likely. And it's a guy that he probably looks at as beatable compared to a guy like Leon Edwards, who stays on the outside, tries to pick you apart. Vicente Luque will get reckless in there. And he did against Woodley, got rocked against Woodley. And this could be a really fan-friendly fight. So I'm going to say my official prediction, whether or not this fight will happen, I say yes, it happens. Give me Nate Diaz versus Vicente Luque. And I really think Nate Diaz should try to negotiate this fight for 5 rounds. I really believe that. I don't know if that will happen, but he did it against Leon Edwards. So maybe in this case, he can negotiate another 5-round fight against Vicente Luque. Of course, Vicente Luque is going to take this fight because that would, propel his name massively with a big win over Nate Diaz. And also, there's not an easier fight out there for Vicente Luque. Who's he going to fight right now? Everybody else is already booked up. If not, you have Gilbert Burns, Leon Edwards. None of those matchups are good, and also he's best friends with Gilbert Burns, so obviously that fight wouldn't happen. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think Nate Diaz versus Vicente Luque will happen? And if so, who do you think will win? Is anybody picking Nate Diaz in that fight? I'm genuinely curious. Also, guys, if you enjoy these videos, make sure to like the video. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.